Hello, good to see you again. I don't know what to say because I changed my name. I don't have a new intro. I know this video is about McDonald's and we just had a video on McDonald's. It's because that video took so much out of me. I didn't really have time to research and write another video. And the only thing on my mind right now is McDonald's. If you took an x-ray to my brain, you would see a hamburger. The doctor puts a stethoscope to my chest and he's like, this is weird. It kind of sounds like her heart's going bada, bada, bum. She's in late stage capitalism. There's no recovery for her. So if you were a 90s or early 2000s kid, you probably remember that McDonald's had this kind of promotional thing where if you bought an ice cream cone, they just gave you a VHS tape featuring a full 40-minute cartoon with our man Ronald McDonald. I remember these VHS tapes, and so I knew I wanted to go back to them when making the Mcdonaldland video. I wanted to do a whole section on them, but I cut that from the video. So this is what this video is gonna be. So you can think of it like a little bonus video. We're just gonna be hanging out, and I'm gonna be putting you through more Mcdonaldland content. So by the end of it, your heart is gonna be a cause of concern for your doctor. You don't have to watch my 40-minute dissertation on the morality of Mcdonaldland characters to understand it, but you should, because I spend a lot of time on it, and I also think it has one of the best endings of one of my videos. It's definitely in the top 5 endings of my 5 videos on this channel. Anyways, let's get into the first episode.
Wake up, it's another day. Looking kinda cool, looking kinda new. McDonaldland is changing. Everything is rearranging. I can't sit still, cause it's a beautiful day. And Ronald McDonald's got something to say. Let's see what's happening first.
So that was just a taste of the songs that we're gonna get in this. And get ready, because they only get better from here. This is the first time we're introduced to McDonald's dog, Sunday. Look at him. Me personally, I'm scared. Scared silly, one could say. So when I first saw this, the way that he walked was so striking to me. I was like, is it a puppet? Is it an animatronic? It's a guy. They put just some guy in a costume and made him crawl around on the floor. Imagine you put that on your acting resume and they're like, oh, you voiced the dog, Sunday, in The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald. That's pretty good. He's a pretty big role. And you have to be like, no, I was just his live action version. What do you mean by that? There were different voice actors for the live action version and the cartoon. No, I was put in his flesh. Okay, well, this is a family drama film. Actually, we do need someone to play the dog. So in the first episode, the gang decides to go camping. And they're so excited about going camping, they sing a song.
There's nothing like the great outdoors, and the far-flung forest is the best, of course. If you want to get close to the greenery, then camping in the wild is the place to be. And squirrels. There's lots of bugs.
They so clearly put in songs just to make the runtime longer, because the lyrical content of these songs, they just repeat things. Like, this is just a list of things that you could find in the woods. The second verse, they don't even list off new things.
And squirrels. Lots of bugs.
There are a lot of things in the woods that you could list off. There's trees, there's stairs, there's suspiciously dug up dirt. I just think they could have gotten a little bit more creative with it. He is taking them so deep into the woods. They walk for hours.
We've got another 3 hours till we make camp.
He is taking these children as far away from civilization as they can possibly get.
Squirrel. Come on, Sunday. It's just a squirrel.
That joke makes no sense. And that just raises so many more questions about this world. Like, do all the animals talk? And if so, it's kind of fucked up that Sunday was about to kill a baby, right? Sorry, I just get so distracted when watching this because Ronald is so thick. And I'm not talking about his shakes. Drop the workout routine. Poor. Then they get chased by a bear for a little bit. Pretty sure he knows English.
Everybody's gonna be so scared if this thing works.
Oh, it works all right.
So he's just choosing to be a menace. Ronald creates a door out of thin air and sends that bear right into the void. So Birdie says that she grew up in a tree, but she doesn't go camping. Only 4-star resorts when she travels. And what I'm getting at here is that I think Birdie is a Nepo baby. What bird family is she from? Big birds? All right, after 5 hours, they finally get to their camping site. But then, oh no, there's a thunderstorm.
But we didn't bring reindeer because it wasn't supposed to rain. We did. Be prepared. That's the McNugget motto.
Be afraid. That's the Grimace motto.
It's the Grimace motto, not because they're afraid, but because you should be afraid when you see them. Since they are 5 hours away from civilization, they're gonna have to seek shelter in, of course, a spooky haunted mansion. Every forest has one of these. If yours doesn't, it's because you haven't been chosen yet. It's a very core part of camping. It's one of the first lessons you learn. If it starts thundering, don't seek shelter in the mansion on top of the hill that appears. It's right next to don't sleep in that bear's bed and eat its porridge, you selfish girl. But Ronald already took care of that first one because he sent that bear to the other side of the universe. Ronald McDonald mentions that he has an uncle with a hedge maze.
My uncle has one of those big hedge mazes.
I don't know why this is relevant, but it just really troubles me, the implication that this guy has a family. I like to imagine his family is just normal, and when Ronald shows up to the family gathering, they're like, so you're still doing the clown thing? And Ronald is like, this is my passion in life. And I get that you don't understand it, and that's fine, but all I ask is that you respect it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go camping with a bunch of 8-year-olds.
This house can't be that big.
Not another song. Please, please. There are like 4 songs per each episode, and they're all so long. These episodes could be 10 minutes long if they just cut the songs. This guy appears.
I am Franklin, and this is my game, and you are intruders.
Challenges them to some riddles. Every riddle that they do and they get wrong is how they get killed.
What is it that the more you take away from it, the bigger it gets? A hole!
But then the answer for the final riddle is friendship.
The answer is friendship!
Lucky guess!
So what was his plan for that one? Oh no, you're gonna get the worst fate of all. You're gonna get stuck in an emotionally fulfilling platonic relationship. It turns out that this whole thing was a ploy. One of the kids' father is a mad scientist who made this mansion to be sort of an amusement park, escape room, game thing. And the other kid wanted Ronald and the gang to come play it, but for some reason she didn't just ask.
Sorry I tricked you, Ronald. But I really wanted you to play the game. And I couldn't think of any other way.
So she had to do the next logical thing, which would be to drag them all camping and then get them to play along without them realizing that they were playing along. Like, things make no sense in these episodes. Not even like, okay, there are some plot holes that's par for the course. They just make no sense. And that also still doesn't explain, like, even if it was an escape room, how did they disappear into the void like that? That's a true escape room. Lock me in there and put me in there with the demon, and I will find a way to escape. The demon's locked in there with me. So this kid is like fully a menace in this episode.
Nobody gets into my lab! Nobody! Do you understand?
And then he just replaces the other girl. And he's just chill for the rest of the episodes, but we never really see the girl again after this.
Thanks, but I'm okay, Ronald. With a friend like you, I'm not afraid of anything.
Because he controls the world. I don't think a single thing on this earth could overpower him. Episode 2, Legend of Grimace Island. So this episode starts off with Grimace saying that he got a letter from Grimace Island saying he is their only hope.
Grimace Island?
Yeah, it's the original home of all the world's Grimaces. A great big island that's been lost for hundreds of years.
Lost Grimaces, why am I not surprised?
It was a happy place. A place where no one fought nor yelled or invited yellow ducks to come dance with them at the Grimace Festival.
I cannot understand that last one. I listened to it so many times. What is the third thing that no one did?
Invited yellow ducks to come dance with them at the Grimace Festival.
So one day, the other people on the island heard about the Grimace treasure. I was actually shocked by the way that the islanders are portrayed. It's like, come on, guys. Pocahontas was out by this time. You should know better.
So the mean people took the treasure away from the Grimaces and never came back or said thank you. You should always say thank you.
Imagine someone is stealing your items and they say, hold on. I just want to just say thank you. I know I came over unannounced, and I also threatened you with a firearm, but you still let me take your things. Wow, this door was open the whole time? You weren't supposed to see in there.
And the Grimaces were afraid they'd come back. So they did a big Grimace dance and made the whole island shake so hard, it broke from the ocean floor.
They set off to sea, and they sing a whole song about it.
Setting out to sail the sea.
It's storming, there's a kraken. Ronald gets electrocuted by lightning and literally just flies off the boat. I got all soft when Hamburglar got concerned about Ronald's. It was sweet. And while they're in the midst of this peril danger, Ronald turns Grimace into a surfboard and they sing a song about how cool he looks.
The coolest cat, oceanside.
Go, go, round, you'll take that ride.
And it's like, guys, focus. They're like, listen, we're only 20 minutes in. It's been about 5 minutes since the last song. Kraken or not, we are on a schedule. In my notes, I put, Grimace is a little stupid. Oh, he's not just a little stupid. He's big stupid. He had the map to Grimace Island this whole time in his pocket. I wouldn't touch it myself if I were the Hamburglar. Then they find Grimace Island, and that takes about another 5 minutes, so there is another song. So Grimace gives the king the letter that sent him there, and the king almost immediately goes like, no, Grimace wrote that.
No, I didn't write this. No, Grimace wrote this.
And he does this without checking with the other Grimaces. So I'm assuming 1, they either all write the same, or 2, Grimaces don't know how to write. And based on everything else, I think it's that second one. The letter that Grimace got from the Grimaces was actually fake, made by pirates who thought that he would know where the Grimace Island is, and they could follow him to get to Grimace Island and take the last bit of treasure. They keep their precious treasure in a cave and immediately give it up. It's like, guys, you were isolated for centuries. You broke an entire continent. Just a cave to the first person who asks. They decide to tickle the pirates instead of fighting them because this is still a show for toddlers.
But when I tickled Grimace out there in the ocean, he was practically helpless.
Then Grimace goes and saves the treasure. Turns out the treasure is the Grimace Cup of Bravery, which is just really ironic that the treasure that they were so fearful of getting taken that they hid away for centuries was a cup of bravery. Nobody was getting that at that point. It's just they make no sense. They make no sense. All right, episode 3, Visitors from Outer Space. So the episode starts with them talking about what would happen if aliens visited Mcdonaldland. And then, you'll never believe this, aliens do.
Ronald, I just don't think we're alone. I mean in the universe, you know, aliens and all.
Chill, Sunday, okay? There are toddlers watching this. They can barely conceptualize that other people have lives, let alone aliens having lives. Do you guys think aliens exist? I used to, but then the government confirmed it. And now I'm like, I don't think they exist. I just refuse to believe what the government tells me. If they tell me aliens don't exist, I'm like, aliens definitely exist. They tell me aliens do exist, I'm like, what are you trying to distract me from? Ronald sounds the alarm for the aliens and the gang gathers together. Grimace knocks over the old lady who is doing his hair after giving a whole speech about being nice.
I want you to be nice. Sorry.
Anyways, they sing a song, which I guess is the protocol for McDonaldland. If an alien comes, they just sing a welcoming song.
Oh, aliens, we welcome thee. Oh, aliens, we welcome thee. Yes.
If I was an alien and they performed this for me, I would be a little insulted. I get it when there's toddlers watching, but I am literally a being of another world. And you couldn't think of a second verse for me? I wasn't gonna take over, but now I think I will. Turns out it was just the Hamburglar who had set off the alarm because he wanted to do some hamburgling. But then real aliens do come and they abduct the Hamburglar in a classic Boy Cries Wolf story. Ronald owns a spaceship, which means he really just could have had alien contact way sooner. But wait, if McDonaldland is its own planet, separate from Earth, doesn't that mean that they're the aliens? Or the people of Earth are the aliens? So I don't know why they're acting like they don't know aliens exist. So then they try to save the Hamburglar. I mentioned this in the actual video. There's a scene where Ronald tells Grimace, don't press that green button. And Grimace says, you got it, Ronald. And then he presses it.
And whatever you do, don't press the green button.
Right, Captain Ronald.
It's not like the narrative gives any explanation why he did that. He just did it. They didn't even throw in a line like, whoops, misheard you. No, he heard Ronald. He just didn't listen. Oh, Hamburglar sings a song, Rescue Me.
Rescue me.
Then there's a little alien space fight. Grimace doesn't know what to do. He says,
Gotta help Ronald. I know. I'll press a button. That worked before.
Grimace, it didn't. He's not just big stupid. He is the embodiment of stupid. There's not one brain cell in that blob of a being. Maybe he doesn't have a brain. Have we ever took an x-ray to Grimace? I don't think Grimace has like any organs or anything, right? Because he turned into a surfboard. I think he's just a blob. Maybe he's exceptionally smart for a blob. The other aliens throw a bunch of like caramel sauce sprinkles onto their spaceship, and Ronald calls over an alien called
I am hungry,
which he already knew. So again, he knew that aliens existed. I am hungry is just really hungry and eats all of the stuff off of the spaceship. But one thing I will say I did notice after doing a bunch of research into McDonald's is that these cartoons do have references to like the ads. The Scared Silly, that was the name of an ad in I think the 80s, and then I Am Hungry was a character before the cartoon. They also bring up Mayor McCheese in a later episode. Hey, Mayor McCheese, get it? So it's clear that they did research. Maybe there was a Bible. I would give anything to read a Bible on the Mcdonaldland characters. They indirectly caused a war. This space war would cost many lives, and it is still ongoing. Just kidding. Ronald sings a song, and it's all fine. My question is, why couldn't he have sung that to stop the war in Iraq? Grimace presses a button and it works out this time, but it was just really dumb luck because he had no idea what that button was gonna do. So you'll notice after this, they stopped showing the dog puppet.
Let's not forget the chew bone incident.
Oh, Sunday.
Did the guy quit? Did they lose the puppet? Did the guy steal the puppet? He gets so into character that he doesn't remember he's not a dog, and he walks off of set one day still in the costume. They have to put up like the missing pet signs, but it's of Sunday. I imagine that the people in those communities who saw those signs did not go looking for him. Quite the opposite. They decided to stay indoors until that monstrosity was found. He's still missing to this day. Episode 4. So this one is about Ronald's birthday.
Check out these new anti-gravity boots I got for my birthday. Don't ever let anyone tell you astronauts don't give great presents.
No one was gonna tell me that. If I was friends with an astronaut, they better give me the moon. And I mean literally. Hamburglar forgets that it's his birthday. Then this evil professor appears and says, I have a perfect gift. Here are tickets to Birthday Land.
You really scared the mailman this morning, Sunday. He was just doing his job.
I'm a dog. It's what I do.
Is Sunday a dog? They all present their gifts to Ronald in an attempt to impress him, because if they don't, they will be wiped from the planet, which is why Hamburglar is so stressed. But thankfully, he presents the tickets to Birthday Land, and they're like, great, let's go to Birthday Land right now. This episode has the worst song of them all.
Listen to those horns, those noisy clackers. I don't think I like this at all.
Ronald, look at that row of clackers!
Grimace, no, stop. Sorry, as mean as can be. Stop, stop, stop. I wanna get off the ride. I close my eyes, but I'm too scared to blink. I'd like to fly, get away from that creepy guy. 'Cause anywhere else we'd rather be.
This is peak writing. This is genius here. In fact, get genius on this, because I'm gonna need some behind the scenes to understand what they're saying. So it turns out that Birthday Land was all a ploy to turn them all into babies. If someone turned me into a baby, I'd probably be okay with it. It wasn't going so great for me the other way, so let's give it one more chance. His whole plan is that he wants to turn all of the world into babies so that he can take it over. And for some reason, he needed to start with Ronald and the gang to see if it worked. So the evil professor reveals his evil plan, and he asks for any final words before he, I don't know, turns the world into babies. He's not gonna kill them. And Grimace, who made Ronald an extremely long poem for his birthday, reads out his poem as his final words to buy the gang time. And I like the idea that these guys have to abide by the code of last words. You're about to be murdered, and the murderer is like, any last words? Yes, actually. According to all known laws of aviation. She's reciting the B movie. I hate Gen Z millennials so much. They always do this one. Hey, honey. Yeah, so I just wanted to say, work's kind of holding me up at the moment, so probably not going to be home for dinner tonight. I know I missed dinner for 3 months now, but look, I'm really working hard out here. Listen, if you don't understand, If you don't understand, Ronald puts the McNuggets up in all of the things that he received for his birthday. I think in like a Chekhov's gun sort of way, like, oh, this was in the beginning of the episode, so now we're gonna bring it back in the end of the episode. But it really has no purpose. It distracts the professor for maybe 1 second. What exactly was the plan here? It actually confuses me more that they've included it. Out of all the things that they could have tied back round, they somehow chose the most nonsensical one to do.
My last birthday gift. It's our only chance. Come on, Hamburglar. For once, do something right.
I feel so bad for the Hamburglar. He's my favorite. I love a redemption arc. And then they basically kill this guy. They turn him into a baby, and he gets chased by a mechanical hound that sees him as a dog treat. So he's definitely dead. Episode 5, Halftime Will Travel. The gang goes to Franklin, the kid with the scientist's dad, and his scientist dad actually has a time machine. So they go in, they go to different time periods. Hamburglar makes a very astute point about how there shouldn't be humans and dinosaurs existing in the same time period together, but he gets completely brushed off.
Oh, that time machine is messed up. It's got people and dinosaurs living at the same time. That's not how it was.
Not so fast.
He's definitely the one who can see through Ronald's schemes, and Ronald gaslights the crap out of him.
I have a feeling we could learn a lot from these guys.
What? What could you learn from those guys? How to draw a stick figure on a cave wall? That was just the first thing I could think of that cavemen did. Did they do anything else? I feel like they were just trying to survive those days. Quite frankly, I don't feel like I need to learn those skills because if we ever went back to those times, my plan is just to die. I'm not gonna go out in the wild and defecate in a bush. That was the second thing that came to my mind. I don't know what cavemen did.
We're not so different after all.
We're both big.
We're both small.
We're both short.
And we're both tall. We're not so different after all.
Can they stop using small and tall to rhyme things? There are other words. We're not so different after all. I like to think, I like to brawl. I like to sing, I like to maul. I actually think the message is supposed to be like, oh, everybody's the same, which they are all the same. I like to imagine that all my ancestors are just different versions of me. And man, me in the 16th century, I would have been burned as a witch, but I would have been doing some crazy stuff before then. I would have earned that burning. Episode 6, Sunday has an Irish uncle, just like Grimace has an Irish uncle, and I'm presuming that Ronald's uncle is also Irish. I think that everyone in this friend group has an uncle who is Irish and also inexplicably dyed green, which is just so relatable. There's a Loch Ness monster who's got social anxiety, so he doesn't want to be spotted by the townspeople, but then he is, and there's a lesson about keeping secrets and also being yourself. And at this point, I was really tired, so I made no notes on this one, and I refuse to go back to it. You cannot get me to watch that again. Ronald says, see you next time.
Until next time, this is your very own clown, Ronald McDonald, hoping I see you live and in person at McDonald's.
But there is no next time. This was the last episode. I, however, will see you later, maybe at your local McDonald's. But if you do see me there, leave me alone. I'm having a depression meal, and I'm in a very vulnerable position. And if you made it this far and you haven't yet, subscribe. I don't know what to call my subscribers anymore. I used to call them the Cool Kid Club, but then someone pointed out that that could be misinterpreted. So now I feel like I should change it. I mean, there's a channel name. It only makes sense that you guys get renamed too. Let me know of any ideas you have you would like to be named. Give this video a like if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.